Hello and welcome to FiveJay Gaming. I'm FiveJay and today we're going to play Atari Flashback Classics on Nintendo Switch. I believe that the Xbox One and PS4 had a couple of volumes of Atari Flashback games, but I always thought they were kind of overpriced. This one, though, is 150 games for $40, all in one package. I don't know if it's 2 volumes worth on the other systems or if it's 3 volumes. I don't know, but it's 150 games on here. I'm really surprised at the number of games on one game. That's amazing. I like that there's there's variations of the same game. So here's Asteroids, the arcade version, but then they also have Asteroids on Atari 2600 and Asteroids on Atari 5200. So most of you probably know all about, Atari and their history, but the 2600 and the 5200 are both systems that predate the NES, and the 5200 was a successor to the 2600. So I think it's kind of interesting looking at Asteroids as it came out originally on arcade, and then looking at it how it came out on the home port on the 2600, and then the upgraded home port on the 5200. There's a couple other games with a similar setup. Centipede has all 3 of the same versions. Millipede also has all 3 of the same versions. So I think that's interesting. So 150 maybe sounds a little bit inflated considering that some of them are just different versions of the same game, but I think it's an awesome collection to get a feel for the history of video games in the pre-NES era. So yeah, I'm into it. I'm big into it. So I'm playing on this big old arcade stick here. I finally got the wireless to work on it. This is the way to play arcade classics, man. So I'm playing on this big bad boy. We got a few folks in here right now. We got Wyatt Childers, MealeeMan14, and John Early. Welcome, folks. Welcome, welcome. All right, so first thing I want to do is actually show you the difference between all 3 versions of the game. And all of these games have various configuration devices. So if you've never seen an arcade of a vector graphics game, back in the 70s and 80s they had screens and computing devices that display vector graphics, or just straight glowing lines that they structure in such a way that it looks like it might be 3D in some cases, like the game Major Havoc. Otherwise, it just gives it a nice, sharp, clean look, and you can kind of change how intense you want the effect to be. There's none, so it doesn't glow at all, but when you play it in real life, you can tell that it does have a glow about it, so I like to play it on bright. When you're playing on Atari 2600, you can have scan lines and flicker and all that kind of stuff. I like the arcade art around it still on, so you can change all your controls to whatever you like. It's 2-player. There is multiplayer, online multiplayer, there's online leaderboards, there's a lot. I can't believe all the things that this collection does. So I'm very impressed with this. MealeeMan says, Pong! Yeah, I'll show you guys some Pong. It's good stuff, man. J.E. says, FiveJay, I've heard good things about the Aquaman movie. You know, the recent trailer that I saw yesterday actually looked pretty decent, so I feel better about it. And the man says, I barely know anything about Atari. I mostly know Pong from someone else, but that's it. Oh man, Atari is so interesting, because they're kind of a wacky company. Like Sega, can be a little bit crazy sometimes. Atari was crazy all the time. But they were the biggest name in gaming until the market crash, and then Nintendo took over from there. So, yeah, I'm going to show you guys the 3 different versions we have of Asteroids. I'll reset. I don't care about progress or high scores and all that business. Okay. Start a 1-player game. As you can see, I have a little bit of glow going on in the graphics. When you play these things in person, which I did this year, at the Minnesota State Fair, they had an actual arcade. Oh, man. Of Asteroids. So I did recently, just this year, play the arcade version of this game. Whoa. So you do have a thruster, but I find that it's actually a better... But I'm not playing very well right now. This game to me is more about finding when you should and should not move, because you can get better shots when you're not moving. But of course, when you aren't moving, then you're an easier target. You get these aliens that fly in and try and shoot at you. Otherwise, every time you shoot at an asteroid, it fragments into a smaller asteroid. Oh! So it can end up getting pretty vicious in here. Lots of aliens and little tiny asteroid fragments flying around. There we go. New round starts. Plenty of new big asteroids, and I'm going to show you changing the glow of the vector graphics. Standard and none. So I'm going to turn it to none so you guys can see what this looks like. This is without any glow. It's just nice, crisp lines. This is what a vector graphics game looks like when they're only attempting to do something 2D. But the fun thing about vector graphics is that they could attempt something vaguely 3D-ish in a day and age where computers were just really not powerful enough to do real 3D. Whoa! So, it's kind of fun looking into the history of games like that. So that's no glow, and then you can change it to... realistic is probably the level that most people are going to be comfortable with. Just a hint of glow. Otherwise, it's nice, sharp lines. Oh yeah, and you have a hyperspace option. What's the button for hyperspace? Ah! It's not this. There it is. I press X. And hyperspace means you get to leave where you are on the screen. If you're about to be hit by something, you might want to go into hyperspace. But you never know where you're going to end up. So, oh, suddenly I'm at the top of the screen. In my very rudimentary, hardly any more than just a simple triangle spaceship. Oh, I should have hyperspaced sooner. Game over. I usually do ace because it's really easy to input. So yeah, this is the arcade version of Asteroids. So now I'm going to show you guys the two home console versions that they have in here. This is Asteroids and Atari 2600, which is very old. Very old. The man says online multiplayer like the NES, Nintendo Switch Online. It's true. It says I used to have a Namco arcade stick when I was little. They had Miss Pac-Man, Galaga Mappy, Pole Position, Xevious. Absolutely. And Namco has an arcade collection on the Switch already from like very early on. But it doesn't include some of the classics. Like Miss Pac-Man isn't on there. It doesn't have Mappy, Pole Position, or Xevious. It makes me upset. Mad the Bam's here. What's up, Mad the Bam? They're chit-chatting amongst each other. Wyatt says the noise is annoying when you shoot. I agree. Actually, my favorite noise for Asteroids is in this 2600 version. So the Atari 2600 version is missing something crucial, and I'll show you when we're in here. So we're going to play some Atari 2600 Asteroids, and we're going to reset it. As you can see, though... Oh, that's right. In these versions, you actually have the console available to you. So the Y button turns the Atari off and on. Game select. What was it? Oh yeah, difficulty sliders. Oh yeah, sometimes Atari games could be in black and white or color. It looks like this one is only in color, which is totally fine. Game select is ZR. Oh, I see. It's giving me a description at the top. Whoa, there's a lot of game modes. Wow. Holy cow, I'm in game mode number 50. When does it go back to game mode number 1? Game reset, A. Okay, I don't know what mode this is. I like these lasers. I think these lasers sound great. The music kind of sounds like Jaws, very simple. But as you notice, it actually has color, and that was something that the arcade version did not have. Early vector graphics games had no color at all. One thing this game does not have, at least that I've seen so far, is aliens. But maybe because there's 50 different modes, I just wasn't playing the right mode. So Atari 2600 Asteroids is actually pretty good. Oh, there it is! I was playing the wrong mode. Look at that. It has aliens. It also has hyperspace. think you have to hold down on the joystick and then hit the button. And then you end up, whoa, in a random spot! Because the Atari 2600, if you didn't know, only had 2 controls. A joystick and a single button. Otherwise, there were like 6 different switches on the face of the console. And that was it, man. That was it. So when we're looking at the console, this is literally the Atari 2600 itself. And hitting those different levers was actually things you had to do to get the game set up the way you wanted it to. Okay, we're gonna reset the game. No, Y for power. What's game select again? ZR, which is what, R2? 1 player hyperspace bonus every 5,000 fast. 1 player hyperspace bonus every 1,000 slow. So there was probably a big booklet that had all of these modes in it, so you would know which number you wanted. So as you move on, you can see flip. I'm not exactly sure what flip means. Well, now we're in the 2-player games, probably just a variant of all the 1-player stuff. Okay, there's like 60 different modes. It's crazy. But this is how Atari's 2600 games were, man. So we're going to go back to the main menu. There is actually a manual on all of these games that you can check out. So look, just like I said, the game select matrix. The unfortunate thing is with this arcade stick, I don't have a way to zoom. I don't have a right stick to zoom with. But we can go to different pages. I guess there were 66 different modes, huh? So this is such a cool collection to see all this stuff in here. And look, the actual owner's manual for the Atari 2600 is in here as well. The Atari 2600, if you didn't know, came out in like 1977. It is ancient. So ancient. Okay, then we're going to play the Atari 5200 version of Asteroids. The Atari 5200 was the sequel system, the more powerful version of the Atari 2600. You know, it's like the PS3 to the PS2. So, as you can see, the graphics are a little bit different here. The sound effects are different because they have a different sound chip. It's able to handle more objects on the screen. You can see the asteroids overlapping more. There's more asteroids in the game. It plays a little bit faster. The pixels are different. On the Atari 2600, the pixels are like gigantic, long rectangles. And on the 5200, they're still a little on the rectangular side instead of small squares, but they are much smaller. So you're able to fit a lot more on the screen. There's a lot more action. However, I don't think I like the sound effects as much. I think I like the Atari 2600 sound effects and the color palette, the wild color palette, better. But as you can see, neither one is particularly visually a lot like the arcade game. So that's the kind of stuff that I think is really interesting about this collection. Oh yeah, and this one doesn't have hyperspace from what I can tell. You go into this weird like shield mode where nothing can hurt you. Does this one have a console? This one doesn't have console switches. I never had a 5200 or saw one in real life, so apparently there were no switches on the outside of the 5200 to change game modes and stuff like that. So, very different between the 5200 and the 2600 and the arcade versions of the game. So I think that's where this collection really shines. It gives you a really good idea of the old home consoles in the 70s and early 80s before the Nintendo Entertainment System was around. And it gives you an idea of the arcade games that they were based on. Arcade games you might still find today if you can ever find an arcade around you. So, this game's very simple, but it's a lot of fun. I think the 5200 is actually my least favorite version. The arcade and the 2600 versions are my favorites. Okay, Wyatt says the music sounds like someone is hitting on a whoopee coughing. Sitting on a whoopee coughing? I think you mean cushion. Sitting on a whoopee cushion over and over really fast to the tune of Jaws. Advam says, why am I wearing headphones listening to this at full volume while Jay has voice cracks? Oh no, I've got voice cracks. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Matt the Bam says, well, I'll be here until my next exams in, like, March. Like just watching my channel for months. T-Poser's here. What's up, T-Poser? It came out, this collection came out, I think just a few days ago. Very recently. Matt the Bam says 7800 had backwards compatibility with 2600. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I think 5200 did as well. Because the Atari 2600 was Atari's best-selling console. So it was hard for them to stop manufacturing systems that could be backwards compatible with 2600. It was such a big seller for them. Okay, so I'm going to show you another example of this, exactly this sort of thing. So, Centipede. This is a very fast-paced shooter. So you are, actually I have no idea what you are. If I check, I might want to see in the manual what you are. There is no manual because it's an arcade game. And they didn't have a manual. So you're something. I don't know what you are. There's a centipede that comes down the screen, and when you shoot a piece of a segment of the centipede's body, it turns into this mushroom that gets in your way. And then the rest of the body continues moving on a little bit faster than before. So the more you shoot at the centipede, the harder it gets to hit, and the closer it comes to getting you. Also, you have these spiders that come in right around the area. You're confined to like the bottom third of the screen, so this spider comes around and tries to mess you up. So this game is fast-paced, and it's difficult. But look at that arcade art of the centipede. It's so scary looking. Looks nothing like what's in the game, right? But it's awesome looking. The art in the 70s and 80s is just so cool. And this shooting sound effect is pretty cool, too. It's that spider sound effect whenever it makes the... that. Then you know there's a spider on screen. You gotta be careful. So there's Atari 2600, 5200, and the arcade versions of this game in this collection. So once again, I'll show you the difference between all three versions here. This is the original arcade version. And in arcade games, sometimes all they could do to show you that the level is going to be harder was that they switched the color palette on you. I'm playing with a big clacky arcade stick, as you can easily hear. It takes up a lot of space on this table, so there's not a great way to put the microphone far away from it. Oh yeah, and I don't know what those things are, but they just drop a whole bunch of mushrooms in a straight line. That guy. You take him out, but you gotta make sure you don't forget about the spider and the centipede. See, the spider got me. Refills all the partially shot mushrooms. Ah, and the spider came with a beeline after me. The spider is deadly. So this is Centipede. Simple game, and actually you would play this on a roller ball. So a lot of arcades had like a big rolling ball. If you've ever seen one of those golf games where it's golden tee and you just like roll this big ball, that's called a track ball. And this game you're supposed to play in a track ball. So it's a little bit different playing it with a joystick, but it's okay. So that's the arcade version of the game. They also have both the Atari 2600 and 5200 versions of this game. So here is the most rudimentary version of the game, the 2600 version. Whoa, right? Did you get some shock? Because Asteroids didn't have the best graphics, and even though Centipede isn't the most amazing looking game by today's standards, you can see there's a massive difference now between what the arcade could do and what the 2600 could do. I mean, this looks nothing like the game, right? It's so simple. It plays very similarly, but boy, it looks nothing like it, right? This is what gaming looked like in 1977. This was your home console experience. The games played just fine, but boy, these are just the saddest shapes, aren't they? They're nothing. They're just nothing. I don't know if there was a rollerball controller for 2600. It might just be the joystick. So as you can see, this does not look very much like the arcade game. Once again, though, I really enjoy the sound effects of the 2600. I think it sounds cool. Gotcha. Whoa, I think it's making my little shooter guy a little taller every round. Oh, the dude dropping down, placing all the mushrooms quick got me. Alright, once again, there's game select. Children's version, standard player. Oh, let's play children's version. Let's see if it's easier. Oh, it's so much slower. Did you get a little bit of shock seeing going to this version? It's pretty rudimentary, huh? Okay, I'm going to show you guys now the 5200 version. And already you can see that this is much more true to the arcade. But once again, I don't think I like the sound effects very much. The graphics are clearly much better. It's much smoother. It looks a lot more like the arcade. So the 5200 is clearly a much more powerful console than the 2600. So as you can see, you can only have one like bullet out there at a time. So if your shots go a long way without hitting anything, then you don't get to shoot again for a while. But it's real close, so you can shoot very quickly. Ah, spider! So once again, these three versions are very different from each other. Let's see. Wyatt says, I've heard of them and played some, but I wasn't around when they came out. I wasn't around when these came out either. Any of these games. I was born in '89, and I don't think any of these games came out any earlier than about '84. So, pretty old. Pretty old. Man says, what are the dragons on the side of the screen? A green screen decoration? So that was the arcade cabinet art. They put it on the side of the screen to make it more interesting as a border. Because when you play arcade games, they usually have art around the sides of the screen. So those dragons are the centipede. Apparently that's what the centipede is supposed to look like. Right? It's kind of a stretch, but yeah. Wyatt says, when you're shooting, it sounds like someone is slurping. Ha! Nice. Android 17's here. What's up, Android? He says the sound effects are a bit eh. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the 5200 sound chip is not very enjoyable to me. I'm not liking it a whole lot. I'm going to show you some more vector graphics games, because I think they're really interesting. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yes, Major Havoc. So, vector graphics, like I said, they're just straight lines. They can use them to make rudimentary 3D shapes if they want to. This game definitely makes rudimentary 3D shapes, and it uses color. So, as you saw in Asteroids, the vector graphics were black and white. This one is able to use colored vector lines. Here we are launching off in a spaceship. This is some sort of command screen, I guess. Now there's a little bit of 3D shooter gameplay. Again, this is like 1980, 82, maybe? This is pre-NES. So you can imagine your mind being blown seeing a game like this in the arcades. 3D graphics were not a thing. Now this is a little less 3D-ish, right? This is more on the 2D side of things. Oh no! Oh, I got zapped. So as Major Havoc, what you're doing is you're going to these different... I don't even know what these places are. You're blowing up the reactors, and then you're getting out of there back into your ship, and you go on to the next one. So I don't know what all these places are. I'm imagining it's like a Death Star. But he's fragile. You hit any walls, and he like gets addled, and you can't do anything for a second. The ceiling there. You got to get out before the reactor explodes, and you have to get out. You know, you have to make sure you have oxygen. So we made it out of that one. You blast off back into space. You have another quick 3D battle, and you do it all over again. This is Major Havoc. Isn't it strange? Like, wow. Hard to believe they had a game anything like this back then. But vector graphics are so striking. I really enjoy them. It's such a unique era in gaming. Vector graphics are completely unnecessary now, right? We've got real 3D gaming. We've had it for decades. But look at how interesting it looks. It's so neon and glowing. Oh, I hit the zappy thing. Of course I did. I got one more life. Nope. No more lives. Cool, right? Like, it's so strange. What an interesting era of gaming. Android's excited for that Piranha Plant and Smash. Absolutely. Android says, I'm at the hospital. Waiting to be released, but till then gonna watch the stream. Sounds good, man. I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. Better enough to get out of the hospital is great. Oh, got me from behind like Galaga. Sometimes that happens. Dude flies behind you. I wish the game was more of this. I like that angled 3D shooting element. So the weird, like, go blow up the reactor business is strange. Not sure how much I like this part of the game. It's very unique, though. Can't deny that. Once again, I'm smashed into the wall. But if you get good at it, it's kind of cool. Woo! And this is the audio quality could have been a bit remastered or something. A game like that in arcades would be amazing. Are the noises loud? Boy, I already had to crank this down pretty far. Okay, I'll continue to crank it down. We'll give this a shot. See if that's quieter for you guys. Parker Johnson's here. What's up, Parker? See, this part of the game is my favorite. I like this part. It's just way too short. These 3D space battles are sweet. Looks really awesome. In fact, the original Star Wars arcade game was a vector graphics game. I would love to see that come into a collection like this. Unfortunately, I think this collection is mostly just games that Atari made themselves, so they own all the rights. They didn't have Pitfall in here, which is really sad, because Pitfall is one of the Atari 2600's best games, and one of the most defining games of a generation. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Yep, I knew it. Pitfall really helped define what a platformer is. Early on. Oh, we didn't redo the reactor part. Oh! Smashed to bits! I guess it's my highest score yet, though. How can I restart without... I don't seem to be able to. Well, there we go. Anyways, so that's Major Havoc. That is probably the best vector graphics I've seen in a game. Android says, hey Jay, do you know if the remastered Crash Team Racing will be coming to Switch? If so, do you plan to buy it and possibly stream it? I don't think that it has been announced for Switch yet, but I think that it's coming. Android's asking if they have E.T. They don't! They don't have E.T. Which is actually kind of interesting because that game holds such a very infamous place in history that it would be kind of cool to have it on here. But, again, they probably would have to get licensing for that. And can you imagine getting licensing for one of the heralded worst games of all time? Why would you do it? Why spend the money on that? So I get it. This is one of the first arcade games ever. One of the biggest reasons that gaming is what it is today is because of Pong, the original arcade game. It's a 1 or 2 player game. Obviously, it's one player playing against a computer. And it's so simple, right? These graphics are nothing. But it's actually a really fun game, especially if you're playing with somebody you know, because you can put spin on the ball. You just got to be really good, and I think the paddle controller is much better suited to this than a joystick like I'm using. But you can make it work. I'm trying to put spin on it, but you move so fast with this joystick. Oh, talk about zero spin on that one. See, I keep trying to be moving when I hit the ball like that. And you get the spin on it, then you score on him. That's how you do it. You got to get the spin, or the computer player is never going to lose if you don't have any spin. Oh, thought it was going to go a little higher than that. Whoa! Like I said, a paddle controller is the best way to play this. Oh man, boy, I did a lot better last night against the computer than I'm doing today. Oh, I was trying to put some spin on it, otherwise it's just going to be back and forth. Come on. Get some spin on it. Trying to get some spin on it. Failure. Lame. No, stop. How do I get the spin that I need? I did this once. I got it out of this funk one time. I'm not sure how I did it. And as you see, is the longer that this ball is in play, it actually ends up going faster and faster. So it gets pretty intense. If you get really good at this game, it does get really intense. There we go. I finally got the spin on it that I needed. Oh, only to have myself get scored on. Oh, that's a point for me. Yeah. Take that, computer. Clearly, I'm superior in every way. Except for that hit. That was a lame hit. Ooh, decent, decent. Yeah, yeah. Ah, I had a little groove going for a little bit there, and then I lost it. That's it. That game, they had put just a few of these arcades in different, I think, bars at the time. And they got reports that they stopped working. And when they went to check it out, the machines were too full of quarters. They were bursting with the seams full of quarters. And then they knew they had a success in their hands. So Pong is why we have gaming today. Wyatt wants me to play basic math. Is that on here? I wouldn't be surprised. There's 3D tic-tac-toe. Oh yeah, there it is. Basic math. Let's do it. Android says, keep in mind, 5 crew. Pong was revolutionary for its time. Without it, we probably wouldn't have as many games as we do today, or even really many home consoles. It's so true. Parker says, weirdest game of Pong ever. Yeah, this is not the greatest controller for it. Alright, we're going to play basic math, and I have no idea what this game is. I'm guessing it has something to do with basic math. Plus 9. What plus 9? 9 plus 9. Okay, 9 plus 2. I see, I gotta do one digit at a time. Diddly-dude! This is an educational game. Must have been one of the first of its kind. Otherwise, I see no value in this game. Must have some historical significance. If it's just addition over and over, that's going to be the worst ever. What else we got for game modes on this thing? Table addition. Choose the top number. Okay. Oop, I turned it into black and white mode. Like I said, a lot of TVs in those days were black and white only. So there was an option to play in black and white or in color. ZR. This is game select. Table subtraction, table multiplication, table division, random addition, random subtraction. That's it. You got subtraction, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'm going to do random division. 1 divided by 1. That's pretty tough math right here. They do call it basic... Wait, isn't this... I already solved this one. It's supposed to give me random division. There you go. 6 divided by 6. I think that their little, their, whatchamacallit is kind of off. This is kind of interesting now. So is there a decimal place? I don't see a decimal place. But the answer is 2.5, so not exactly sure how this works. I don't know if that means I got it right or wrong. Whatever. So that's basic math for you there, Wyatt Childers. Exactly what you wanted. Andrew says it's math. That's it. Yes, and it is basic math at that. Like I said, this must be one of the first ever educational games on a home console, and that's why it's in here. Otherwise, there's no value. This is an interesting game. You might recognize this game from Star Trek, the old Star Trek. We're playing tic-tac-toe on a 3D board. So, not only does each of those boards have an individual game of tic-tac-toe happening, but there's also a vertical tic-tac-toe happening. So if I had 4 in a row in the bottom corner of each of those 4 boards, that would be me winning. So you have to pay attention to each individual board and the vertical connection between them. So I'm going to do exactly that. Okay, so far he hasn't caught on to my pattern, but he will now. He got me! I'm going to get him where he lives. Ha-ha! Oh, he's going to do it on a diagonal, isn't he? And if that's the case, a 3D diagonal, then I got to stop him. Somebody stop me. Pretty basic, huh? And yes, this is called 3D tic-tac-toe, despite really there being nothing 3D about it. But yeah, Spock used to play that in Star Trek, although I think it might have been 3D chess. Similar concept, but the 2600 was not capable of chess. Not on a 3D level. Wyatt wants to see Blackjack. Nice. Parker loves 3D tic-tac-toe. Nice. Andrew says this game always makes me want to play 4D chess, mostly seen with the Big Bang Theory, but it is now an actual game. Awesome. What did somebody want me to play? Blackjack. Nice. A card game. Good call. One sec. So, 150 games, multiples of many of them, but different versions of each of them, so I stand by it. 150 makes sense to me. Alright, let's try Blackjack. See what a simple card game looks like. Player 1, players 2 and 3 play, player 2 plays, player 3 plays. This is so weird. Why is it just player 1 plays? Okay. What am I looking at here? I expected some cards. Am I betting? I think I'm betting. So I have $200. What am I betting? I'm betting $6. I'm at 19, man. That's supposed to be double, I guess. Hit. Stay. Okay, so it starts you on double for whatever reason. I got 19. I'm not going to double that. Or I could hit, again, no reason to hit on 19 and stay. There's a good chance, though, that he's going to get Blackjack up there. 16? 17? Yes, the dealer stops at 17. So we won. We won 5 measly little coins, but we won. Now we're betting 25. I got 10. And what I'm going to do is double, because I'm living on the edge. Yes! I somehow won with a measly 12. He went over. So he was at 13, and the dealer always draws unless he has 17. And then from 13, he got a 9. He was at 22. Ba-boom. I won with 12. 15. Ouch, that's a tough one. Hit me. Bust. There's a lot a lot of unused real estate on this screen. I feel like they could have done a little bit better job with the graphics here. Make them look a little bit more like cards. Maybe put some red dots on them, you know, the 8 dots. Like, even for Atari 2600, I feel like they could have made this look a little bit better. But it is a 4-player card game on a home console. So, I mean, I guess you can't complain too hard. Ah! Wyatt, stop spamming those symbols. Andrew says, after Blackjack, would you play Canyon Bomber? I have never played Canyon Bomber. I would love to play Canyon Bomber. Ooh. Helicopters. I guess I'm the green one. It's just about getting more points than the other person, I guess. Whoa, suddenly I'm a totally different plane. So as soon as you hit the fire button, you drop a different bomb. So you kind of want to let it ride so you can get all the way to the bottom. So this is probably more fun as a 2-player game where you're trying to get more points than your friend. This is a little bit too rudimentary here. There's some other similar games like this, actually, that I played on arcade. What was it? It was something in black and white, actually. Some of the arcade games were black and white. Was it Skydiver? Actually, no, this one was pretty fun. This is a black and white arcade game. And you're... Wow, it is so loud. I have my stereo turned down so far. Is that loud for you? So, you have to time... Oops. Oops. I didn't open his parachute, so a little ambulance came and take him away. You gotta land on your little colored location. Oh, once again, I waited too long. You get 3 chances. And you gotta outscore your opponent, and you can only miss 3 times. Oh, that's a miss, actually. I gotta land right in that black area. Oh, man, I keep opening my chute too late. As in, my parachute. There we go. There's some points. When you open your parachute, then you have a lot more control over how your character moves. However, the longer you wait to open your parachute, the less time you have to change where you go, but the more points you get. So, it's kind of a balancing act of, how do I want to get more points? Or do I need more control? So, once again, this is probably a lot more fun as a 2-player game when you're facing a friend. Oops. But what, that wasn't the game I was thinking of. What was the one that reminded me of what we were just playing? No, not Gravatar. It's hard to remember. There's so many. Oh, this is kind of cool, though. Here's another vector graphics game. You are flying the Red Baron. It is a 3D vector graphics game. You're in a little biplane, shooting other biplanes down and zeppelins. Eventually you'll see a zeppelin. There it is. A little blimp, you know. I forget its airplane controls, so up and down are reversed. And there's little tanks sometimes in the ground you gotta blow up. Your guns can overheat. They can shoot you. Very rudimentary sound effects. And of course, very, very rudimentary 3D graphics. But I always loved 3D vector graphics games because they're so unique. Nothing looks like a vector graphics game. It's a little circle that's spinning at the bottom is supposed to be the propeller on your biplane to give you the impression that you're in the driver's seat. Ah! Behind you! To give you the impression you're in the driver's seat of an actual biplane. It plays pretty smooth, actually. This is a legitimately fun one. Those are like bullets flying at you there. I can't believe I've missed all those. Lucky for me, though. That was supposed to be a tank there. Ugh. That's a tank shooting at me. Got him. Some sort of little base there. This one's not in color. like Major Havoc was. Oh, I was shot and I crashed. Did you like that explosion effect? Pretty great, huh? You can overheat your guns if you shoot them for too long. Ah, I'm getting riddled with holes. Ah! So that's a kind of cool one. Android says, I remember this game. It is slightly loud. Still loud. Boy, I'm cranking this down so far. It's hard to believe how loud this collection is. It is abnormally loud. Okay, let's try something else. Something catches your eye, let me know. Here's another color vector graphics arcade game. This is called Tempest. And it is a shooter, as you can see. But you are shooting around the edges of a random shape. So right now this is a simple... I wouldn't really call it a circle because it's not really round. It has like 20 edges. But it changes other shapes. Here's a square. But they end up having really wacky shapes, and makes it harder to get to your enemies. And this controller was a spinner. It was like a big dial you would spin on the arcade game itself. So, once again, it plays a little bit differently trying to do this on an arcade stick than on a arcade spinner or a trackball. This one, though, would be completely inappropriate for a trackball. You'd want the spinner. That was a cross shape. And here's like, I call this one like ski goggles. So it's interesting, you know, somewhat of a 3D perspective. You can see enemies coming down the line along an individual track of this shape. Oh, I crashed into one on the outside edge. Avoid spikes. Yeah, oh yeah, those green lines were spikes, apparently. I found that out the hard way last night. It's hard sometimes to get on the exact track that you want to be on, as you move around it so quickly. But at least it highlights in yellow where you're shooting. It helps make it a little bit more clear. Ah, I've collided once again. So that's Tempest, another... Headlebam just wants to see more Pong. We've played Pong. I'll show you Breakout. Actually, there might be an arcade version of Breakout, too. Ooh, not just Breakout, Super Breakout. It's kind of like Pong for one player that's more fun. You've maybe seen various different versions of this game. There's Arkanoid, which is a very classic version of this type of a game. Actually, one of the coolest versions you guys should totally check out is a game called Whiz Orb. Whiz Orb is kind of like an RPG version of this game, where the gameplay is still this, but you're a wizard, and you have powers, and you level up, and you get new abilities. Oh boy, I'm really bad. Let's play the Atari 2600 version of Breakout. Alright, Atari, wow me. Look at all those colors on screen at one time. Oh, this looks a lot easier. Look how big your paddle is. Oh, still need that little, like, spinning controller. They called that the paddle on the Atari 2600. Called that the paddle controller. But on an arcade machine, they called it a spinner. Again, you can put English on it. I had a game like this on Game Boy, the original Game Boy, and it was much better, smoother, faster pace, not as viciously difficult. What was it called? Alleyway. And I believe it was a Nintendo game, and I think Mario actually jumps inside this little capsule and is controlling the little capsule that's bouncing that ball. Okay, Circus Atari. Let's check out Circus Atari. What is this? Okay. Oh, sad. Oh, I have to keep catching this guy over and over again? I see. Until we go up into the colored area. Aha, now it makes a little sense. A little. Once again, I feel that this controller is just too sensitive. And actually, I think you can change it. Main menu. Start. Controls. Sensitivity. Absolute. Relative. Interesting. I'm going to turn the sensitivity way down to 2. See if that makes it a little bit easier. It's a very good collection to have that sort of configurability. Oh yeah, now it's a little bit like Breakout where we're hitting those pieces up top, but you gotta balance it. It's still a little bit too sensitive here. I'm gonna see what that absolute versus relative option does for me. Relative. It says there's a fire function. Oops, I must have put it to default controls here. Let's try it again. Oh, I see. Fire makes me face the other way. So I can get a better... Oh! Dude, that guy bounced back quick. Wow! Boy, when they hit the top there, you don't have a lot of time to react. Yeah, this is essentially Breakout, but with a twist. Oh, I shouldn't have moved to the right at all. This one's kind of fun. It's addicting. Oh, should have seen it coming. Oh, if I'd switched there, that would have worked perfectly. Like that. Oh, once again, it just moves too fast for me, though. So you can tweak the controls, try and get it to work just the way you remember. Well, the way you want it to, rather. Wyatt says, do they have that one game where you're digging and you have to kill the 2 enemies? I forgot what it's called. Are you talking about Dig Dug? The 2 enemies is confusing me, though. Not exactly sure what that one is. Android says, sorry I vanished, taking my last round of antibiotics, and I should be out of here within an hour. Or an hour and a half. Good, man. I hope you get out ASAP. Nobody likes to be cooped up in the hospital. Let's try Desert Falcon. Sounds cool. Oh. 1-player novice is fine, please. Oh, I'm an actual falcon. I figured that was like a military thing, like I'm actually in a helicopter or something. But I appear to be an actual bird. This is nonsense, though. What am I doing? And when that happens, then you check out the manual. A daring quest for treasure. Again, I can't really zoom in, so it actually didn't help me all that much. I gots to know what's going on. I can be walking. I'm shooting something. Apparently the white thing is a good thing to get, and apparently the black thing hurt me. Ah. So I'm going to grab that. Man, I don't know how to fly in between those pieces. That's not easy. Are those pyramids? I have no idea. I'm at least somewhat interested in that game, though I'm going to move on to another one. Demons to Diamonds. Let's check it out. Why it says Dig Dug. Okay, yeah, no, Dig Dug is not in here, unfortunately. That would be fun. Ooh, actually, you know what? I want to play some old-fashioned... Oh my goodness. If you thought golf on the NES looked bad, here's golf on the 2600. I don't even know what I'm doing. Is that the bottom left? Is that where the hole is? Why are you hitting it that way? How do I change my... Is it mini golf? It's probably mini golf. Oh, once again. It's hitting completely the wrong direction. Why is his swing backwards? This doesn't make any sense. What? What are the controls? Options, controls. Up, down, left, right, and fire. I mean, there's really nothing to screw up about it, but it doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. I kind of see now. Got it. Wow, this is not how golf works in the slightest. Wow. Okay, then. I get it. I kind of get it. How do I hit it up? Oh, I gotta be, like, to the side of it, right? Yes. Okay. And then if I'm below it, now I'm hitting it to the left. Got it. Wow. Not golf in the slightest. But I'm understanding it now. Okay, I need to get this in the hole for my dignity. You can do it. We're on the green, folks. We are on the green. It is not a drill. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Swiping downward, so let's be maybe here-ish. Oh, so close, man. Too much angle. Okay, now we just need to basically hit it straight to the left. No, that went straight through the hole. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's not going to work. Why does he hit it like that? I got to be above it, right? That's how this is going to work. This is the worst golf game, and somehow I love it. Yeah! A hole in, what was that, 21? We got a hole in 21, folks. Boom. Oh, that was a much better hit. Wow. Never complain about a golf game ever again. That is so bad. Woo! Andrew says, what are you shooting and what is the goal of the Falcon? I don't know. Collecting things, apparently. Not exactly sure what's coming after me and whatnot. Parker says the goal of the Falcon is to be like Captain Falcon. That is true. That is true. Andrew says golf in this is so confusing. Yeah, it makes no sense. It is nothing like actual golf at all. At all. Not even like mini golf. Parker says, oh, Atari Golf. That sounds fun. Whew, that was bad. What have I played around here that was fun? Ooh, let's try miniature golf, because if miniature golf is actually anything like miniature golf, it could actually be fun. It's black and white color, 2-player game. Okay, our options are 1-player games and 2-player games. That's fine. Okay, so here I am. What's going on? Ah, got it. So we're like a little cursor. This makes way more sense than the previous game. Doesn't make the most sense, especially if you're stuck up on the edge. What are you going to do? Actually, I bet you this makes the most sense. Boom! Yes, that actually did make sense. Okay. Now this is a much better version of golf. It's mini golf, but it's golf. It makes some amount of sense at the very least. All Alright, stop for that red thing. Pull back as far as we can. Go! Do it! Okay. Yeah! We got it! And what I'm going to do is pull back like this and just let it go. Let's get the red guy out of there. It's going to bounce like crazy. Yeah! Yes! Wow! See, now this is a much more entertaining game of golf than the last one by a mile. If you can hit it really hard like that, that's a lot of fun. So close! Oh, fail. Big fat fail. There we go. We only did it in like 4 that time. Once again, I think I'm going to get a lot more power if I do it like this. Like this. Boom! Yes! Golf for life. If this is golf, then I want to play this all the time. See, this is a lot more fun. It's super rudimentary, but it's actually enjoyable. This is what the old school games were all about. Very, very simple, but still lots of fun. Okay, we're so close. One last hit. Yes! Way better than golf. Atari mini golf. And Bam says, I like how you play with a hockey stick. Oh, on golf? The first one? Yeah, it was nonsense. Looked so weird. Android says, Parker says, how would Link golf though? Android says, use Navi as a golf ball. Link yelling as he hits it like this. Hits his fairy across the course. When he needs tips on which club to use, she screams, hey, listen! I mean, you're probably not wrong about that. Okay, so that was a much better version of golf, but still not the most entertaining thing I've ever seen, right? Pong sports. There's lots of real sports which don't really interest me all that much. Ooh, Space Star. I like these terms. Let's try Skydiver. Wait. Was this the same thing as that arcade game? I think it is. Except that I don't have a parachute? There we go. Okay, I have to press down and A to use the parachute. But yes, this is a version of that arcade game we played earlier. Let's try Space Attack. I'm getting a strong feeling of space and attacking. Am I actually doing anything? I don't think I'm doing anything. Somebody collided over there. What's going on with that? Oh, now we're shooting at things. Okay, now this is what the game should be. I don't know what was with the rest of that game, but this is what the game should have been from the onset. This is an actually interesting looking space shooter. It's not easy, but it's at least interesting to look at. I like the twinkling stars. The effects of blowing up a spaceship are nice and satisfying. Yeah, oh, and they can cause chain reactions. That's cool. Okay. This makes no sense of any kind, but once we get into the actual shooting part of this game, that's decent. Another. And the BAM says, find the Easter egg in Adventure. Adventure is in here. I'll show you guys Adventure. One of the first RPG games here. There's also Aqua Venture, apparently. And I didn't know there's also an Adventure 2. Sephiroth is here. What's up, dude? Welcome, man. I'm gonna reset this game. Game reset. Okay, so this is a castle, which maybe you can kind of sort of tell. Maybe a little. And then here's a key. So you use the little dot as you, and you can pick up items. You can drop them with the button. It's very rudimentary, but this key actually does open up gates. So you just got to find the gate where this key works. However, there's also a sword. And this sword is the only thing that can kill dragons. The dragons, by the way, look like some sort of seahorse or a duck. They don't look a lot like a dragon. But I'm going to take this key, see if we can find a gate where it works. And so far, the answer is no. Oh, that's a dragon! That green thing that was coming after me was a dragon. Like I said, it looks a lot more like a seahorse than a dragon, but that's a dragon. Yeah, and I don't know what this thing is. Some sort of chalice. There was a dragon there, and then he just went away. Okay. I think this might actually be a place where we can use this key. Here's a black key. Does this remember what I did last time? It almost looks like it does. This is a magnet. It seems to bring the keys with me. Now I can have multiple keys at the same time. Oh no, where'd my magnet go? Come on, magnet. Hey, you used to be grabbing both of them. What happened here? Weird. That's the dragon. Gotta run from him. Getting the actual secret is not gonna happen. It's a very rudimentary game. I don't think you'd have a great time playing that one. Andrew says, what is Armor Ambush? Let's find out. Armor Ambush. Please connect the controller for player 2. Is it a 2-player only game? Game select. There is no game select. Oh. Look at this. It's a game of war. I'm in a little tank, and I think I'm hunting down this little dinosaur guy. Obviously, it's supposed to be 2-player. It keeps telling me I need to connect the second controller. Oh, and inside it was a tank. So that must have been some sort of other giant creature. My tank is just turning in random directions. Very strange. Okay, so again, this game is pretty well worthless unless you have a friend to play with. But war-based games are at least somewhat interesting to me. Arrow Blast. Okay, space shooter. Or a shooter of some kind. I'm losing points as things hit the ground and I don't shoot them. So, not exactly sure what the win and loss standards are. Oh, besides being hit. That's usually pretty constant. Oof, once again, my controller is too sensitive. Wow, unbelievable that it is this sensitive still, and I've turned it down so far. Yeah, I'm just sliding everywhere at high speed. I need a different kind of controller for this, because that's just not working. Actually, wonder if I switch what this... Whoa. What did I do? I changed a couple of switches on this arcade stick, and now it's playing like nonsense. Okay, is this slightly better? Not really, honestly. Brain games. Bowling. Carrie Houston is here on Facebook. Thanks for watching, Carrie. Says hi. Hey, how's it going? Andrew says that sword looks like a pickaxe. It did, didn't it? It did. Andrew says, oh, one player is black tanks, while 2 players blue tanks. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Let's see, this bowling game is halfway decent. Yeah. Go, go, go. Oh. We're not going to be able to pick up this spare. This is going to be too intense. Ah, I got 2 of them. Let's see if we can get a strike. Not the most high-tech bowling game I've ever seen. Whoa, no! The same split? Really? Oh, that is just so sad. Can I get one to jump way over to the left? Not really. I want a real strike. That looks good. Looks real good. Wasn't that good. Also, it resets my character, so it's hard to know where I was exactly before. That's the closest we've gotten to getting a spare. Come on, come on. Ooh, okay. We could do this. Pick up that spare. Oh, we might have it. Yes! First spare! Hey, look, there's a little flash. Acknowledges it and everything. Android says the movement in that game was insane. Yeah, the little shooter one, it was way too fast. Again, you need to have that little paddle controller. Carrie says, how many different streaming platforms do you have up? YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Mixer, Facebook. 5. I'm at 5. Mark is also here. What's up, Mark? Oh, he already knows. Says I believe also, hey Jay, it's 17. Oh, Mark, what's going on? You're jumping on different platforms. Yeah, I think Periscope is the one that most people overlook. And when I look at Periscope, though, I'm streaming at too high of a quality, and they compress it down really hard. So it doesn't look that great on Periscope. But it's there in your Twitter feed, so, I mean, it is what it is. Carrie says YouTube. Yes. Yes, on YouTube. Okay, let's find something else here. I've heard Combat is a really fun multiplayer game. Apparently there's a bunch of different game types and stuff. Let's see what it says here. Tank guided missiles, easy maze. Tank straight missiles, easy maze. Guided missiles versus straight missiles seems to be a big thing. Tank Pong, any shot kills, easy mode. Tank Pong, again. Bounced shot skills. So only bounced shot skills will work to kill your opponent. Interesting. This is invisible tank, guided missiles, open playing field. So you can't see where you are except for when you shoot. You can see that they are guided a little bit when it's somewhat near. It seems to... Oh, I see. Where I'm moving, it moves. So I can make it go another direction. Ah, that's the guided missiles. Tricky, tricky. Invisible tank Pong. Oh, no, I wanted to try that. Where's that invisible tank Pong? I'll just... Ah, I keep hitting B instead of A. I want one of the ones with bounced skill shots. See? Literal Pong here. So apparently if I shoot him straight up, it's not going to hurt him. I'm going to give it a shot. I have to be a little bit more... Yeah, it doesn't hurt him. Unless I can ricochet it at him. There we go! Boom! I can see where this would be a fun multiplayer game. Doing all the weird trick shots and stuff. Carrie's also never heard of Twitch? Yeah. YouTube and Twitch. And Periscope. And Mixer. Let's see. Dodge 'em. No, we didn't try Demons to Diamonds, did we? Maybe we shouldn't have. Boy. I guess it's a shooter, but ooh. Ooh. Let's go back to dodge him. Is this some sort of Pac-Man-like game? Well, we didn't dodge there. Wait, how do I... Am I the orange one? Yes, I am. Got it. Okay, the controls are a little bit weird because you keep changing directions. So I need to change lanes like right away. Oh! Okay, somewhat entertaining here. I think Pac-Man's better, but I want to see what happens when you complete a level. Since we're going to do it, we got it! Nothing. There's probably different levels. At least I would hope so. Whoa! Oh no! He gets more vicious over time. Okay, that could be decent. And then this is Tank Tennis. That's exactly what it was, right? Play Smash Ultimate. I'm going to be playing some Smash Ultimate later today. No worries. Let's see. What else? I'm going to go back into the arcade games section. And out of the 2600 section here. Let's see what Space Duel is. Let's get another vector graphics game. Looks like I started playing it once. Again, color vector graphics. It looks like a more colorful version of Asteroids, if you ask me. Is that an upgrade? I want it. No! It is something bad. Some sort of tiny little rock. Yeah, it's like somebody said, let's remake Asteroid with the craziest looking vector graphics we can muster. Oh. Gotta beat up that red thing now. I gots to know. What is it? Boy, those spaceships are tiny. Yeah, this is just straight up Asteroids. With spinning asteroids instead of, you know, rock-shaped ones. They look like little, like, pinwheels or something. So there's a couple of different alien types. Whatever that weird comet thing is that we shoot 1,000 times. Hopefully it gives you a lot of points or something. I gotta say, I like Asteroids better. Sprint, huh? Warlords. Madbam says, I just finished Giga Bowser in World of Light. Nice. Andred says, nice, Mad. Be prepared for more bosses in the future, though. Nice. Andred says, Smash. Someone say, Smash, Inkling, Pit. Use my main, Samus. Samus is great. One of my mains as well. So good. Let's try Pool Shark. Oh, boy, I tried this one. It's nonsense. You just kind of sit here and run the cue ball into pool balls. It doesn't make sense. This isn't how pool is played. It's so weird. Like, you'd think you would hit it with a cue. No. You just sort of smash into it with the ball. Like, what? That's apparently the game. That's not how pool's played. At all. Maze Invaders. Little running guy. He's kind of cute. I think I played this a little bit yesterday. There's these gates that are locked until you pick up all these little pickups. Only after you get them all do those gates open up. You can shoot, but those round things only get slowed down. They don't actually... Wow, that is so loud. I hope I have adequately turned it down for you guys. My goodness. This collection of games is just ear-shatteringly loud. then it opens up the gate, and you can leave. Android says, imagine what a 2D Tomb Raider or Call of Duty would have been like on Atari. Actually, you know what is on Atari? Is Halo. Somebody out there made a Halo 2600 game. I would love to play it. It is an actual cartridge that you can plug into an actual 2600 and play. So, I really want to try Halo 2600 sometime. What is this? Canyon Bomber. Oh, I guess that was an arcade game. I guess this is what it reminded me of. And it was in black and white. This is exactly what I was looking for. Yes. Okay. As you can see, Canyon Bomber. The different circles of different points. You want to get more points than your friend or foe, whatever. You cannot hit the other blimp. The shot went right through it. It's not the most entertaining game. Black Widow seemed like a decent game, actually. Oh, and you know what? I have a weird one for you to try, too. It's a classic, but you might never have seen it before. Oh, you know what? This game is a twin-stick shooter. I actually can't play this game. I need to have a normal controller to play this game. It's a pretty decent twin-stick shooter. I was thinking of Yars Revenge. Yars Revenge. This game seems like nonsense, but I understand it now. You have to break through the shield, and then you like eat part of the shield, and the thing on the left is like a super missile, and it shoots at them. Boom! And if you hit them, you destroy them. But you can hit yourself, and it's got this little energy missile that follows you around, and it gets harder and harder to get to this guy. So it's a very weird game, and I have no idea what's with the colored thing in the middle. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just interesting graphics, I think, is all. Whoa, I almost hit myself there. Okay, I got my missile all primed. I got him! It's a very interesting idea for a shooter. Very strange. Your shots can't actually hurt this guy at all. The only thing that hurts him is your super missile. Whatever it's called. Oh, we almost hit him. Oh, I ran into it. That'll do it. Yeah, that little colored dot that's floating after me is his little energy shot thing. You don't want to touch it, you'll die. There's some sort of flying bug. I don't know what that thing on the right is supposed to be. An alien? A spider? Oh, once again. Accidentally shot myself. Happens a lot in this game, honestly. Woo! So as you can see, the shield kind of rotates around. The other way to get your missile ready is to actually touch the bad guy. Oh, we got him! The sound effects are like ominous and dark, the sort of pulsing sound. Wow, wow, wow. The colors flashing were impressive. Like, I think this was just a really cool looking game in 1978 or whatever this is. Oh, rats. Shot myself again. I got one last life. I don't know if this was an arcade game or not. This might have only been an Atari 2600 game. It had a sequel, too. I want to get the ones in front. There we go. The missile ready. Yes! This is a decent game as well. And already read that one. Planners, see what's up, Planners? Says roses are red, violets are blue. FiveJay is streaming. Jay, how are you? Oh, I like that one. Thanks, dude. I'm doing good. How are you doing? I'm gonna have to quit here pretty shortly, though, unfortunately. Wyatt says roses are red. My name is Dave. This makes no sense. Nope. Sonense. Actually, I think that makes more sense to say Sonense than to say no sense, since it's already nonsense. And then ends with microwave. Android says, Halo on Atari, that is amazing, right? Says, hey Jay, how much did this Atari Flashback cost? This is not an Atari Flashback console. This is a Nintendo Switch game. This is Atari Flashback Classics on Nintendo Switch. It's $40. It has online multiplayer. It has online leaderboards. It has achievements. I haven't gotten very many so far. I earned one for Pong. Corner Pocket earned a point in Pong by sending the ball into the corner when it can't be reached. That's right. And I got one in Major Havoc. Hit the ejected garbage in Major Havoc. Elected. So there's 3 pages worth of achievements. Oh, and it tells you what they are. Achieve a high score of 300,000 or higher in Yars Return. 300,000. I'm kind of curious to see how difficult that is. So this is Yars Return. This is the sequel. It's a little bit different. It's kind of more... You can come at this guy from multiple different angles now. There's now 2 of those energy missiles. Looks like I can't shoot while I'm in that colored area. So I have to be careful of my placement. Oh, I went all the way through the bottom there and hit that energy missile. If that's what you want to call it. Okay. Plus you can hit yourself really easy. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get here. Boom. Got him. How many points do I have so far? 4,800. Oh my goodness. The high score is 300,000 to get that achievement. You got to get good at this game. Wow. Really extremely good. I have to be really careful about going over bottom to top here. I almost ran into things a bunch of times. As you can see, he's got a lot of shield for me to eat through. Oh, I should have skedaddled sooner. And like 13,000. Man, that is some high score you gotta get. Get over to this side. Okay, we've got a pretty good amount of his shield chipped away. I wish you could go left to right through the screen as well. Ooh, he got me good. Game select. 2-player cannon doesn't bounce. 1-player cannon bounces. Ultimate Yars. Children's version. Oh, is that what I've been playing? Is the children's version? And failing at it? Okay. I'm ready. I've got my super missile. I'll go around to this side of him. Open fire. Boom! That's the basic tactic for getting that guy. But as you can see, it ain't easy. Wow. Boy, just level 2 alone is ridiculous. 2-player children's version. 1-player cannon doesn't bounce. I want the cannon bounces. Show me cannon bounces. Not sure what that means yet. Is the cannon what I activate to get this guy? If so, we're gonna give it a shot. It does. Okay. I don't know what the benefit of that happening is, but it works. Maybe if it's inside some sort of structure and it bounces between a bunch of the shield components? That might be the case, actually. I'm gonna give that a shot. Ah, once again, be careful. Oh, I can go top to bottom now. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I could always go top to bottom. I meant left to right. Still can't go left to right. Okay, once we've cleared out a good amount of his shield here, let's see if we can take a shot at him with the bouncing cannon. Just bounced right out. Didn't help me a whole lot. This is easily my better angle, though, from this side. Boy, the left and right would be super helpful. Ah! Getting a score of 300,000 seems crazy. I really have no idea how I would do that, but I'm kind of interested to do it. Oh yeah, video pinball. This one was kind of decent. Planner says, Jay, I just got home from church and I put my dirty clothes in the washing machine. George Washing Machine is my favorite president. Lel. I like it. Android's got to take off. See ya, Android. Thanks for hanging out with us. Planner says, Jay, I like spaghetti. Do you, and how much? Oh, I love spaghetti. So good. Anything Italian food, I'm pretty much down for all the time. What would you do for a bowl of fresh spaghetti? How far would you go for the pasta? Right now, I have to not have any spaghetti. But I would like some. This is pinball. Because there's only one button on the Atari 2600 joystick, you have to hit the joystick left and right on the directions to make the different flippers go. So it's a little bit tough as opposed to having two separate buttons for flippers. I end up hitting the wrong one every time. The wrong direction. But it is vaguely pinball-like. Oh. So it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. We've seen some bad games in this collection, right? We've seen some legitimately bad games. And this one is at least halfway decent. It actually does behave like pinball. It doesn't look very pinball-ish. It's so square, but it behaves somewhat like pinball. Nice, get that bonus. Ah! Oh, don't you go down that little escape on the side. See, once again, I hit the wrong flipper. There we go. The wrong trousers. Anyone watch Wallace and Gromit as a kid? Yay, nay? Come on, baby. I want to get that little Atari symbol in the upper right corner. Some sort of bonus. Burn, burn. Getting points. You know what I always loved about the Atari 2600 is the font. The way the numbers and the letters look. They're so gigantic and strange. I think they look really cool, though. So iconic. They had such little power to work with. Everything was just so big. Ooh, Wyatt is eating pasta right now. I'm jealous. I am so jealous. Chelsea's here. What's up, Chelsea? Welcome, welcome. This is Jay. Do you like to eat lasagna more than spaghetti? No. I think I like spaghetti more. I think I like best, though, is gnocchi. It's so good. Oh, come on. Hit that bonus. Ugh. It's not the best round of pinball I've had in my life. Haha! Goes back in the launch area. There we go. Ooh, a couple of bonuses. Get the third one. I did! And now everything is worth 2 points. Interesting, instead of 1. Well, I see how you get high scores. Now it makes sense. Bonk, bonk. Oh, once again. Got 2 bonuses here. No! That's the only way to lose. Right down there. And, of course, the middle. Planner says you should live stream yourself eating spaghetti with your bare hands off a tray, like Titus did in Final Fantasy X after surviving the attack on Zenarkand? I didn't actually play that game, so I did not know that was a thing. But wouldn't that be attractive? Just covered in sauce, just mushing a big pile of noodles in my face. Who wouldn't love it? Who would not love it? Let's see. Not a lot more time here. I'll try some Street Racer. Boy, those cars, man. They're very realistic. Apparently it's a 2-player game. Because I'm on the right. Not sure what's going on. Stunt cycle. Woo! Oh! Crash. What do I do? Not exactly sure what I do. Okay. I just need to be not going too fast. Pretty much. It's not all that cool. We've seen better. What 5200 games? Let's try Star Raiders on 5200. Wow, there's a lot of options on the left. Okay. What are we looking at here? Did the 5200 have... Oh, there's a lot of things on the left. What am I looking at? With X. Aft view, fore view. Am I... Wow! This game looks incredibly complex for its day. Tracking. What am I tracking? Wow, I'm actually really impressed right now. Shields on. Attack computer on. Uh-oh. Check the aft view. Fore view, aft view, what's going on? Hyperspace. Yes! Don't know where I'm going. Manual. Give me the manual. What's a manual do for me here? Something's coming into view. Speed mode. Abort. Game select. Control mode. Don't know what that means, though. See that fore view. Scan mode gives us something else. Boy, if I can understand how this game works, I think this game would be very interesting. It seems to be about space exploration and combat. More advanced than anything I've seen on these systems so far. So right now it's a bunch of nonsense, but it looks very interesting. A very interesting piece of gaming history here. Planner says, Xanarkand. Got it. Xanarkand. J.E. says, power outage in my town. Writing this on my phone. Oh no! Power outages stink, man. Sorry to hear that. Okay, what was I enjoying earlier? I was enjoying, of course, the wonderful Asteroids. I'm going to end it with a little bit more Asteroids and Atari 2600. I think might be my favorite version of Asteroids. We are going to look at the different modes quick. Flip bonus every 1,000, every 10,000. No bonus. No feature. Not sure what that means. One-player children's version. Let's get out of the two-player stuff. Let's do basically the same mode, but fast. This is fast mode. It actually is quite a bit faster. It is noticeable. Seriously though, this music sounds straight up like the Jaws theme, doesn't it? Like you're watching Jaws right now. I wonder if there was any copyright claims about that. There was an alien. I heard him. This is just a classic arcade game. Oh, I should have hyperspace jumped. Like this. Where do I end up? You never know. It's risky, but it's less risky than straight up dying when something's gonna get you. Aha! Hyperspace saved me. Sometimes you gotta stop in momentum. Atari 2600, man. Quite a place in history. 1977. Wasn't much to look at, but boy, people were addicted to this thing. I don't remember how many millions of units the 2600 sold, but it sold millions and millions of units. People loved it. And here and there, you can find some games that are still enjoyable today. I still enjoy this game today. It's very simple, but I think it's a good time. There's a bunch of different modes. There's two-player on most of this stuff. And now that you have this flashback collection, you can play it online. Crazy enough. So if any of you ever gets this collection, we could totally do some multiplayer at some point. And I could host some stuff. Okay, just going to finish up some few chats, and I'm going to take off here. Parker's taken off as well. Planet says, Jay, what is the most unclean, grimy car or bus you've ever been on? Very random question. I don't even know, honestly. All I know is that sometimes I think my own car is dirty, but sometimes you see somebody and you're like, whoa. Remember one time seeing this van outside of, I think it was a Michael's craft store. And it was full, like the windows, all the way up to the windows, like the whole van, just filled with junk. I don't know how they drove. Like the driver's seat was the only thing that didn't have things piled to the ceiling. It was crazy. And it's not necessarily dirty, but boy, that's messy and so unsafe. Like, wow. So that, I mean, that's what comes to mind when you ask me this question. Planet says, Jay, I have spaghetti. Please be jealous so I can feel good about myself. I am jealous of spaghetti any day. I'm always jealous of spaghetti. You guys are the best. Later today, I'll be playing some Smash Bros. So this evening, I got an event to go to now. This evening, I'll be playing some Smash Bros. Usually, or around my usual time, so 7:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Look for some Smash Bros. I'll see you then, guys. See ya.